Sometimes statement may not be clear, but there is always a deeper understanding. It is not just about the who said what. The whens, hows, and wheres are equally important. Join me on a whole new journey in the conversation with Augustus as I bring you discussions from religion to politics, health to economy, humanity to social activities, among many others. Conversation with Augustus knows no foreign borders. The show comes to you every Wednesday at 6:15 p.m. GMT on our YouTube channel Conversation with Augustus and on Radio Angelus www.radioangelus.com. This program is sponsored by Safe Life Experience Consult Limited. Contact them for all your travel and tour needs, as well as your events.
This evening you have the meeting all of you who were for your World Day in Poland. How we know Poland is my homeland, so and this is special joy for me that you didn't forget this event, and for this meeting I bless you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. And I hope that we can meet very soon. God bless.
God bless you too.
It's another day, and welcome to the Conversation with Augustus. Today, I'm happy to discuss something that happened about 5 years ago. Around 13th of July 2016, about 64 pilgrims left Accra Archdiocese to partake in the 2016 World Youth Day, which was held in Poland. As part of the celebration, these young men and women had the opportunity to visit Rome. After that, they also made a road trip from Rome to Poland. This group of people have become a family, and today, we are here to thank God for his wonderful blessings and gifts of life. Blessings that words cannot describe. At least all the 64 people who went for that pilgrimage, that World Youth Day, have series of testimonies. And today we are going to have a conversation. We are going to tell or share our blessings from this wonderful pilgrimage we undertook 5 years ago. My name is Augustus, and I've been joined by some members of the 2016 World Youth Day pilgrimage we had to Poland. We call it Poland and Roman Poland. So without much ado, I'm one of them from Our Lady of Mercy. I was sponsored by my parish for this wonderful celebration. And I would want to use this platform to thank all those who supported me, right from the then parish priest, Monsignor Agbenu, the assistant parish priest, Father Evans, the PPC chairperson, the PYC chairperson at that time, and then the PPC chairperson. Thank you very much for your support. I would also want to thank all the parishioners who supported me with cash, with prayers. And I also want to thank Auntie Kate, Auntie Alberta, who is late now, may her soul rest in perfect peace. And all parishioners who gave me money and who encouraged me. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Skugin, for that support. So that's mine. We'll continue with the conversation.
So I am Pius Nap Amam from St. Kizito Parish, Nima, the AU parish, you all know. So I can't say without adding that. So I was also sponsored by my parish. We're actually 3 in number who were sponsored by St. Kizito. So I would like to use also this medium to say thank you to some few people on behalf of my 2 brothers who went with me, and then on my own self, Mr. Echampon, Mr. and Mrs. Echampon, who assisted us with some form of cash when we were also leaving, to Mr. Joawantu, who also gave me something for my upkeep, to my parents who also supported me with some money, and then some family members who also gave me something. Those who also supported me with their prayers, I say thank you very much, and may God continue to bless all of them. So basically, this is what I will have to say for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you so much, Pius, for that short, brief introduction and word of thanks.
My name is Angela Lu. So from Good Shepherd Parish, I was sponsored by my parish, and then it was myself and then Nana Tichi. So we'd also like to use this opportunity to thank everyone who was in any way, everybody who was in any way involved, from the parish for sponsoring us, the then parish priest, Father Mount, I'm trying to remember, I think it was, I'm trying to remember whether it was Father Raphael or was Father Joel then, who was the assistant parish priest. No, wait. No. I think by then Father Joel had left, so I think it was Father Raphael. Yes, it was Father Raphael. It was Father Raphael. It was Father Raphael, and the PPC, I think at the time the PPC was Mrs. Dalquation. Nana Chichi was the PYC chair. My parents, family, friends, yes, everyone who in any way supported. And it was truly an amazing experience. So I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Okay, I was also sponsored with a friend from an outstation that was St. Jude, Mary Coulson for that matter. And by then our parish priest was Reverend Father Ofuri, SVD, and his other assistants. In fact, I can't remember their names. 5 years then, they've left, so I can't remember all their names. So we were also sponsored by our parish, St. Margaret Mary Parish, the PPC, and the support of the youth. We'd also like to say a big thank you for their support then, because afterwards it has not been easy for those who went for the next one, but then it was easy for us. So we say a big thank you to them, to all friends who supported us with their prayers, our family members, and our colleagues at work. They also did a very good job for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And every year, preparation period, okay, having to spend a day or so at the youth center and then prepare for this journey. I remember we had Mina she was then working at the Italian embassy, working out through how to fill the documents. Father Raymond's sister, who was in charge of our travel arrangements, She was also there, and then we had Doc with us. I've forgotten Doc's first name. She I think she had a bit of medication in
Dr.
Poland.
Christine.
So
Dr.
she
Christine.
took us through the culture aspect of the Polish people, what we should do when we get there, how we should respond. So all this we had a bit of, how do you call it, education about the people we're going to live with in Poland. So for me, it was an eye opener, because when we got to Poland, I was able to adapt to the system because I knew how the people were, how they behave, how they do their things. Okay, so it really helped me a lot. What about you guys right from the preparation period?
Okay, I think for me it was when we're starting out, it was all very new, right? Even in terms of the like the visa processes and everything. So as Augustus mentioned earlier, there was a first meeting where we went through filling the forms and all of that. We went for the visa interview. And they taught us some of the things to expect and all. That went pretty smoothly, and it was nice meeting each other in person, because I think we were on a WhatsApp page before we met in person, right? And then after that, the retreat too was really great at the youth center. Yeah, with I think we had the retreat on the 1st of July, yes, or so. And then having to start, like, being put into groups. I have two of my group members here, group 6, love, fires and Augustus. And
I see.
yes,
Of course,
it was really nice to be put into the groups like that, having mass, and then in general getting to know each other. I remember they asked us to introduce ourselves, and then you're supposed to attach an adjective when you are introducing yourself. So all of those things are the retreat, and then the Polish words, and then the culture aspect that Dr. Christine spoke about was also really, really great, because at least you knew a few things before going. So yeah, I think those are some things that I remember from the preparation before going.
So I want to hear your voice. What do you remember about the What You Day?
My name is Elvira Kudiabo. I represented St. Teresa's Catholic Church, Kaneshi. I went on my own. I mean, I wasn't sponsored by the parish. My going was a miracle in itself, because when I started working, I had the intention that I was going to save money so that when I go on pension, I'll visit the seat of my faith. So that was my initial plan. So when I started working, when I got a job, every month I would save half of the salary. Then when I got $1,500, I met Father Joseph Atta for the very first time. We went to there through the spirit of mind that I met Father Joseph. So when he was bringing me back from the airport, what I wanted to do, and I told him, is that one day I'll be able to visit Vatican. Then he just stopped the car. He just stopped the car. I said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yes, Father." I said, "Really?" I said, "Yes." Then he picked the phone and made the call. It was then, now that it was later that I found out he called Louis. So that was how it happened. And then I got invited to come for the interview, and I had to use less than 6 months to raise that. I ended up going to World Youth Day 20. I also didn't know anything. I didn't know anybody. Brian's mom, just sometimes I forgot her name. And then Antonina, Nina 32, all those people who were part of the preparation team. Through them, got all our information ready. And because I had planned to do that, I already had my passports. Can you imagine? I had planned for something I was going to do after pension, but I already started then. So my passport wasn't a problem. Half of the money had already been saved. And then they also taught us, just as all of you had indicated, the preparation there Polish people were and all that. But I had a little bit of their culture through COVID. So when they told us, it was like a recap of what I already knew. And also because of the Second World War, I read extensively on the Second World War. I just couldn't understand why a human being would plan to kill another human being because he felt superior over that person. So anyway, that's how my joining the world through the 2016 happened. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So for me, with the preparation period, so I didn't even know when the information came. I didn't even know because I had already chosen 2 people to go. So I knew I wasn't going. So it was, I think I was at work when my parish priest then, acting parish priest, Father Michael Osu, called that he sent me was it a WhatsApp asking me, will I want to travel? And I was like, travel where? It was like for the World Youth Day. I was like, oh yes, for the World Youth Day, yes, I really will, I will go. And he told me to get my passport and then take it to the information center to go and give it to Father Hansen. And I said, okay. So when I go home that evening, I pulled out my passport. Lo and behold, the passport had expired a month ago. I was like, I quickly called him. I was like, Father, the passport has expired. It expired a month ago. The thing should have come earlier. He was like, I shouldn't worry. I should just go and see Father Hansen and let's take it from there. So fortunately, when I went for the Hansen, and that was even like the interview, I was actually going for the interview with an invalid passport. So I got there, and for the Hansen was like, no problem. So I think that was where he connected me with Charles. Charles is here. So I met Charles at the passport center and they handed everything over to Charles. And then that was all. So on the WhatsApp page, let's come there. We were all on the group, but we didn't know ourselves. So apart from the 2 brothers from my parish, Emmanuel Akakpo and then Humphrey, I didn't really know who was going and who wasn't going. But going through the list, I saw some few people already knew. I saw Godson, I saw Francisco. So for Godson and Francisco, I knew them before World Youth Day. I think aside the 2 of them, I didn't know anybody. Yes, so these were the only people I knew before World Youth Day. But you see, because of our conversations on the WhatsApp platform and then our meetings at the Youth Formation Center, at least we began developing that friendship. Okay, so it was now finally easier for us to interact with each other. I think one of the things I remember was when we were at the youth center for the orientation, I think the 2-3 days we spent, the day they gave us the sleeping bags, they wanted to find out how we were going to sleep in the bags. I volunteered to sleep in the bag. And I remember. Yes. And you know my height, my height and then the sleeping. I got in the bag and my legs. I got in the bag with my legs and then the thing couldn't cover up to my shoulders. And I was like, hey, Bruna and Tuntum marry me. Yeah, Bruna said something. Yeah. So for the preparation stage, I think the bonding, they helped us with the bonding before moving to Poland. It also gave us the opportunity to see a lot of people, like based on networks, and then also share our experiences. So the orientation really brought us together. It gave us the opportunity to also have an expectation of what we were going to experience in Rome and then also in Poland. So for the preparation stage, I think I started enjoying World Youth Day from Accra, not actually when we got to Rome, but actually in Accra, because at least coming to the youth center, giving me the opportunity to meet other people, like I was excited. You all know I'm the talkative type, and meeting people, I had the opportunity to talk a lot. If I talk with you and you are tired, I move on to the next person. So it was something that made me have fun. Preparation stages, this is for me, this is what I really came up with. So basically, this is how my preparation stages went for the
I'm Charles Odoi, and I was part of the team that tried to organize the World Youth Day Poland. Actually, the whole idea started when we came back from Brazil. I mean, the World Youth Day mostly, we go together as a country. But then we realized our numbers in Accra was increasing. I think in Brazil, if my memory serves me right, we were about 19 from Accra. So there was, and in Brazil already, there was an attempt to try and go, I mean, as a diocese, but I think things didn't actually work out. So we still had to go together, but we still had a huge number. So when we came back, I mean, there was a discussion, myself, Linus, I think then Luis, the art chairman. So we started preparations to see how we could get, I mean, quite a sizable number to go for the first time. Then I think we then approached the Archbishop again, who agreed that, oh, I mean, it would be a wonderful idea for us to try and then go for the World Youth Day as a diocese. And also to try and then get, I mean, we told him we wanted to go through Rome, and he also agreed. So Archbishop Abako gave us his blessing. So we started preparations, and I mean, it was myself, Linus, I think Rita, and some few people, but it ended up that it was myself and then Rita that were able to go for the World Youth Day. I mean, in terms of preparations, what we basically did was that we tried to reach out to a lot of parishes as possible. And then because we wanted to ensure that we take people who are, I mean, people who will go and come, because we've had, okay, not our diocese, but we've had that bitter experience of people going and they're not coming back. So we did a form of an interview to try and screen and then ensure that we went with the right people. And in terms of the preparation after that, so after our interview, we're supposed to, I mean, send the group to the embassy. And I think that was also a bit of a challenge there, because I mean, we were to go to the Dutch embassy, and they were basically not even, they claimed they were not aware of the program and blah, 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 back and forth. But I mean, God being so good, we were able to use one priest from Poland. I mean, initially, they were asking us to go and put the people online. And with the numbers we had, when you look at Accra, I think we were 64, and then Gansek, and then there was another group from the Salesians. So, you know, we're close to, I think, 140 or 150. And asking us to put all these numbers online meant that actually we may still be putting people online when the program has even started. So, I mean, we had sent a letter to the embassy and they were like, we should put the people online. But, I mean, we still felt that no, I mean, they needed to listen to us so that we would be able to go for the interview quickly. And then, I mean, our visas process for us. So as I said, luckily, Father John Stratoff, he was previously at Margaret Mary and Star of the Sea. And I think he later moved to SS Peter and Paul. He's now in retirement. So I spoke to him. In fact, I told the Archbishop and he asked me to speak to him. So I spoke to him and then we went to the embassy, I think the following day. I mean, because he is Dutch, he was able to enter with me. I think we met one of the consulars. Then we had a discussion. I made her aware that, I mean, our numbers are huge. We can't put all those numbers online. So they needed to do, I mean, fast track our own. I think then they hadn't moved to this BFS they do now. So they're like, okay, they'll speak to the people in Poland and get back to us. So I think they spoke to the people in Poland. I think first they spoke to their countries, foreign affairs, they spoke to the Polish, and the Polish said, oh yeah, I mean, there's such a program. So they go back to me and asked that, I mean, we scheduled the people, I think it was 30 a day or 20 a day. And then we were able to go for the interview. Luckily, I mean, everybody was granted the visas. Then we went for the World Youth Day, or have I missed something? My assistant Angela, have I missed something? Yes, after we got it, I mean, there was a lot of pressure here and there trying
But
to.
we had a retreat. We had a retreat before we went at the youth center.
I mean, the retreat there, you were the one.
Hey,
Involved.
Charles, you are talking about Panama.
Yes.
No.
But I think we are forgetting one thing. We also had a time with the Archbishop before we left.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, yes, it's true.
At the Adoration Chapel.
At the cathedral.
I don't remember this one.
Yes, we did. But I basically think that I wasn't so much, because I think I was still running around trying to get things involved. I think Rita and some few people actually really planned the retreat. For me, I was in and out. So I basically, for the retreat, I wouldn't recollect a lot. But I mean, yes, I mean, as you said, that bishop couldn't, I think he was scheduled to meet us at the youth center, but he couldn't come. So I think the day before we left or so, or the Saturday before we left, we met him at the cathedral. I think we had mass with him, but I remember we were in the chapel where they normally have their weekday mass.
Yeah, the Adoration Chapel. That was where we met with him. There was no mass, but I mean, we had one-on-one talks with him, and then we had, I think, a bit of prayer session with him. It was covered by Catholic Digest as well. I think it was a Saturday before we left. Was it on a Wednesday? We left on a Wednesday also. So the Saturday before we left on Wednesday. Thank you, but Charles, that was a very deep preparation for.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually opened up a lot of experiences for me. I think today, if I'm running my travel and tour, I think I gained the experience from some of these travel.
Francisca, welcome, and then Felicia, how are you doing? So Felicia, I want to hear from you. Then would move on to Francisca, and then we'll all come share our room experience before Poland.
Okay, so my name is Felicia Mausi Ayivo. People call me Mrs. Ansa, probably because my passport is registered as Ansa, and so I think Charles started it, and then the other pilgrims decided to call me Mrs. Ansa or Mafili. So I had the opportunity to join the 2016 World Youth Day to Poland, thanks to Charles and my husband. Okay, so, well, people have shared experiences, and I think the experiences are almost the same. But then I would like to share my testimony through this pilgrimage. I've been married for 13 years now, and with no issue. So anyway, now I have twins. Thanks be to God. So I joined the group. We went, and my prayer request number 1 was fruit of the womb. Anywhere we went, fruit of the womb. It was a year of mercy, so all the basilica, each basilica we entered, I prayed for fruit of the womb. We went to Mary Major. That was when I broke down, I wept, and I asked for it. So I think in Italy, we visited the Incorruptibles. Was it Mary Major or somewhere? Then I had told God I wanted twins, 1 boy, 1 girl. Long. Okay, so long ago I prayed for twins. I'm a parishioner of Star of the Sea. I prayed. I usually visit Mother Mary in the church. I prayed to her, and she revealed to me. It was a direction Father Hansen actually gave me. I went before Mother Mary, prayed to her for the fruit of the womb, and she revealed to me in a dream. And in the dream, there were like two kids in like strollers, in a very beautiful garden, a very large one. So then I knew that, oh yes, I'm surely going to have my twins. People have also dreamt and told me they saw me with twins and all that. So as for the twins, I knew I was going to have twins. I name them each time I pray. I mention their names and talk to them like they were with me. I tell them to hurry up and come so that their siblings will follow up and all that. So then the pilgrimage came in. So Mary Major, yes, I broke down, I prayed, and I think Rita also prayed with me. And then when we went to Poland, we visited Black Madonna. And they said lots of miracles happened there. We saw the, I think, crutches and other, people who were healed, they left their staffs there. So you kneel down and walk through some path and pray and as you go. So I broke down and I prayed and I asked for it. By then, I said I had already named my twins. But I think it was in Rome, Mary Major, that I made the final decision to settle on Mariel for the girl. As for Manuel, I had it already. It was a girl that I kept changing. Sometimes I'll say Marie, Maria, blah, blah, blah. So then I decided to settle on Mariel. And so, well, we had all the fun, we prayed and all that, everything, blah, blah, blah. Then we came back to Ghana. So sometimes I'll say, hey, so after all this, going through all this, and when we came back to Ghana, I think I joined was it Fatima 100 years. There was another pilgrimage to Ivory Coast. I joined and we went and came. So yes, there too I was praying for the same intention and other intentions as well. And then the following year, so it means 2017, I went to Ivory Coast. And then I think 2018, I only went to visit my brother in Holland. And all this was because I had the opportunity to join the World Youth Day 2016. The door was now open for me, so I could travel. I went to visit my brother in Holland in 2018. 2019, I traveled again to Italy because I remember when we went to throw the coin, I prayed that I wanted to come back again. So in 2019, I went back again to Italy. It was a pilgrimage. We went with Charles. Charles organized it. Yes, it was effective. So this time, because I had been there before, I knew what I wanted now. The first time, it was a new place, something new. So I was just going through. But this time, I really knew what I wanted. So when I went, I did pray again. And then we came. So in 2020, I kept praying. Then one day, one of the pilgrims, Francisca Zenil or something, yeah. The surname is so heavy, I can't mention it. Pardon me, Francisca. She sent me a message that she had a dream about me and that God was going to give me a testimony and God wanted me to share this testimony to encourage fellow Christians. And I said, oh, okay. That was in 2020. 2020 December, then my twins came. Miraculously, the twins came. God blessed me with twins, one boy, one girl. And the names were there already. And they came, Manuel is Emmanuel. Jesus is 25th December. And then Mariel is also from Mary. And they are 25th December. 25th, their birthday is 25th December. And so their name, so I call them miraculous, my miraculous twins. So, I don't even know what to say. God just answered it like that. When we came back, I was saying, hey, so after all this trip, am I still going through this? It was in 2016, but the babies came in 2020. So you see I was still thinking, hey, so after going through all this, going through all the basilicas, year of mercy, hey, God, when? God, when? And then from nowhere, 2020, it just happened. So that's my testimony, just to encourage you out there that when he says he will do it, he will surely do it. Thank you.
Francisca Dormitory Zenel Amat, St. Ignatius of Loyola, Spintex Batrona. I heard about the World Youth Day from the Osudinri, yes, Osudinri Youth Council. So when I heard about it, I was obviously interested because the previous.
Can we see your face?
Maybe the head is on the husband.
Oh, fear. Fear. So, like I was saying, when I heard, I was interested. From the first ever World Youth Day, I've always been interested, but unable to go. So this time when I heard about it, I felt, yes, I wanted to go. So I expressed interest and I started talking to people about it. And almost everybody I spoke to encouraged me. So I later on met Charles and Co. Then Charles kind of taught me how I could go by the savings and doing the payment thing. And so it became an issue between myself and Charles. When I get something small, I need to let him know, then he will encourage me, oh, you go and pay it and blah, blah. When things were tough, I had to talk to Charles and Mercy. And they were basically the two who kept encouraging me. So even the documentations, I was more or less not ready because I felt I would not be able to get all the money. But thanks to Charles, he kept saying that you gather the documents, let's do the necessary thing, and then while still looking for the money. Because initially I thought the church was going to pay. The first time the church said I was the PYC chair and the church secretary. So they said they were going to pay for me to go. Later on, there was change of priest, and the new priest said they will pay half, and later on they were not paying anything. so I was on my own, but I was still determined to go no matter what. So I started gathering my documentation. And another issue was, bring your employment letter, which with my organization, it is not done. There are certain information they call need to know. So on that, it is a need to know basis. When you need a visa, then obviously have to give you a note. But to send that information out, they were not ready to let me do that. So it was another problem for me, back and forth. And finally, I got everything and we went and we all got the visa. So I think basically, yes, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Mame, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Oh,
thank you.
Chicken. I miss you so much.
More chicken.
More chicken. Who has more chicken?
So I'm Amiefa Sainti, representing Corpus Christi Parish. And you said how I got on the video.
Yeah.
Or how I got.
How you were chosen for the World Youth Day, the preparation period for the World Youth Day. So the parish you represent the preparation. Yeah.
Okay. So I was representing Corpus Christi, but it came to me as a surprise because it was a nomination.
Oh.
So I just got to prepare for it when I got the information that I've been nominated to be sponsored by the parish. So since financially the parish was taking care of me, and little did I know that I needed money to buy one or two things. I was so relaxed, just working on my passport and my stuff, the requirements that the Archdiocese was requesting for. So that was my concentration till I think about 2 weeks to the time, or if I should say after the orientation, I realized that I needed some things that will help my travel to be more comfortable. And to my surprise, I spent over 1,000 Ghana trying to put all those things together. Unexpected cost, but it was all good. But much to my amazement, even though I'd spent so much money to prepare for things to make me more comfortable, parishioners were so generous. They gave me cash money from here and there. So I had enough to make me feel good and more comfortable. I pray it keeps coming, but I mean, it's still somewhere.
More chicken, more chicken.
Okay, Irene, back to you. The preparation period.
Okay.
How did you prepare for the wedding?
So let me say I had a dream some time ago that I had won an award. And I didn't know what the award was about, but what I realized in the dream was that it was a big place and I was given an award amongst all the youth. So funny enough, 2015, when school vacated, the long back August, I went to the passport office on 3 occasions for passport. Hey, come and see the rich with their big cars. They come within 5 minutes and they are done and they go. We who don't have the poor, we go. So within that 2 weeks, I just reduced in weight and then I gave up. And I told myself I won't go again. So finally, when 2016, it was declared that I'll go for the World Youth Day. That was how Charles came in. He assisted and everything went on smoothly. And since then, I keep reading and I realized that dream I had then, that was how I got it in 2016. So that's a little story I want to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Irene. We are now moving to Poland. Rome. Experience in Rome. Who wants to go first, Mame? The last shall be the first.
Okay. And I had a very wonderful time in Rome. And for me, though my dad was Catholic, my late father was Catholic, I didn't get the opportunity to be raised what people term as Catholic home. In my home, I mean, we were free to go to any church as far as you go to church. That's fine. So I've been exposed to the Pentecost church, the Presbyterian church, Deeper Life, and these charismatic churches. I mean, I go anywhere I want to go. But then from SHS, I don't know, for some funny reason, they asked me in SHS which church, and I said I'm Catholic. Even without thinking about it, I just said it, and then they invited me to CATSU, and then I got stuck there. So for me, going to Rome was like to really come into terms with the church and to really appreciate some of the, traditions of the church. So our journey to certain sites also has encouraged me in my faith in celebrating the saints, the feast days, and all that. And one interesting thing is that anytime I wake up and I think I can go for morning mass and I refuse to go, it happens to be a feast of Mary. And for me, I think it was speaking to me. So one interesting place that I think, I can't actually remember that basilica, but then when I got there, one time, yes. And when I got there, I told Mother Mary to let me feel, even though my mother is alive, I want to feel every now and then that she's my mother, just like John Paul II, can really associate with her as a mother. I want to also begin to feel that. And for me, that experience alone, anytime I remember, kind of encouraged me on in my faith. And then it also helps me to be able to share my experience with the younger ones when it comes to Mary and then the church. So seeing where I started from and how far I've gone, the experience in Rome was fantastic. And I think where St. Paul was beheaded.
The Three Fountains.
Yes, the Three Fountains. That experience too readily comes to mind whenever we have to celebrate St. Peter and St. Paul. Realizing that I've been where they were martyred, it makes me feel like I'm blessed. And the catacombs, that experience there, like an AC condition, which happened to be a very natural weather condition there. It beats my imagination how a place like that could be so cool. And I had this experience of celebrating the mass I've never experienced anywhere, any church before. So I really kind of came into terms with so many, traditions and religious beliefs and things that I thought or I could imagine happened to me naturally. And then for me, it was a wonderful experience.
Yes, Rome, let me take you a little back. I happen to be a dreamer and I dream about everything. So as I was saying, the last minute, I actually called Charles and asked him to take out my name because I couldn't get all the money. And that day when I had a dream that I was working at the airport and all of you guys came, you were in your t-shirt, you were actually boarding. And whilst you were boarding, a certain big man, I was standing there very morose, and a big man asked me that, oh, he thought I was going, so how come my friends are boarding and I'm not part? And I told him that, oh, I couldn't get all the money, that's why I'm not going. And he was like, is it too late? Is it possible we can still buy the ticket? And I said, I don't know. So he walked to where they buy the ticket and asked them if he could still purchase a ticket for the young lady to join the group. And they said yes. So he bought the ticket and asked me to join you guys. So I called and then they brought my things from the house fast. I just stopped the work and then joined you guys. Then I woke up and that was on a Wednesday. So when I told Charles, then on a Sunday, I went to church, and after mass, as usual, Mr. Domilevo and I are close. He was my day group, our chairperson. And ever since we started church, it's been like a father and daughter relationship. So he asked, how far with the preparation? And I told him that, Charlie, I couldn't get the money. So he said, I shouldn't worry. And he's sure next time I'll be able to raise the money and then go. So I went home, and then I was told that the wife came looking for me. I couldn't go for evening program, but the wife came looking for me because he had traveled out. Then he was in East Africa working with the World Bank. So I had to go back to church, and the wife gave me an envelope and said the husband asked her to give me this. It is a small donation towards my trip. I just said, thank you. And then I left. I went home. I was still sad. I just put the envelope in my wardrobe and I slept. When I was sleeping, I had a premonition that go and pick the envelope and open it. But I ignored. Later on, I went to open the envelope, and the amount of money I saw, it wasn't even in cedis, in dollars. You wouldn't believe it. I just called Charles and told Charles that my yes cannot be called. And if you look at what happened, it was just like the dream. And you see, on the day of the trip, I was at work, working normal. So it was time for boarding that I joined you guys and we all boarded the flight. I don't know that you guys got it. So that was it. And Rome,
Wow.
And Rome, yes. And Rome, I've been dreaming about Rome since I could barely see her as a child. I knew I was going to be a religious living in Rome. I knew. So in all my life.
Since you were born.
Pardon me? I didn't hear that.
I said since you were born. You wanted to be in Rome since you were born.
I said since my eyes could see. The only dream I knew was that I was going to be a religious. That is a reverend sister. And I knew I was going to be based in Rome. That one.
Now you are married. You are married. You are chopping.
Oh, Phil.
You are married.
Phil. So Rome is a place I always imagine, like, and I'm sure some of you could see my excitement, how I was jumping about, entering almost everywhere. I wanted to be everywhere and take picture everywhere, because basically those are the things I dream about.
We can't see your face.
Oh, you want to see my excitement? When I talk about it, I still get excited.
Yes.
And if I tell you that most of the places we enter, where we got to both in Rome and Poland, I've been there before. You'll not believe it. In my dreams, I've been there before.
Wow.
So it was just, I was reliving my dream.
Wow.
Because these are things I've dreamt about. So if you ask me, the journey in Rome was something else. And I kept everyone, my friends, those on social media, and those on phone calls and text messages, like updated on everything I was doing, because those that know me know that, Charlie, this girl, they're Catholic, Roma. So I needed to let them know of every experience, every place I went to. And I don't mind going to Rome over and over again, because it just feels like home to me. Yeah, that's all I can say for now. Thank you.
World Youth Day has been one of the best Catholic youth platforms that has brought a lot of success our way. The experiences I've had from Brazil 2013 and going for the 2016 one, I would say 2016 one really impacted something in me. I would say who I am today is based on 2016. Brazil gave me a vision, but 2016 brought something that I never dreamed I could possess as a human being, one, and also believe that the Catholic Church has some unique, let me use the word shrine, a unique shrine that listens and believes in the generations that we have now going into the future. I always see Rome on videos, pictures, in movies, especially when you are watching Transformer movies. That is when you see Rome and stuff, these Italian movies. But I never dreamt I would be in Rome. And I applaud the organizers for adding Rome as a pilgrimage journey before we go to
Let's
Poland.
applaud them. Applaud.
Yeah. It was one beautiful decision they took. Even though some decisions that they took along the journey was not favorable, though, but the intention of going through Rome to have that experience was good. And as of today, whenever I'm having an argument with some friends, I still quote them that when you visit the Vatican, all the churches that left the Catholic Church, their names are inscribed in the middle of the church. That when the Pope celebrates Mass, he prays for them. All the churches up to date. So if I had not been there, I wouldn't have known this. I would say a short story. I know, some don't. But my journey to World Youth Day 2016 was to create a miracle for my late fiancée who died 4 years ago. The time I was with her, she was diagnosed with a sickness that no woman or man would want to marry anybody that has that sickness. But I was willing to marry her, not because of anything, but because I saw Christ in her. She was diagnosed with HIV/AIDS, and I told her that I'm going for this journey. When I come back, I want to marry her. She didn't believe it. So there was a day we visited the tombs of the popes. I don't know whether you remember.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes. Yeah. Then that day, when we got to St. Peter's tomb and one pope's tomb, I just tapped the tomb and said, heal her. Wherever she is, may you heal her. Before we went to the Last Supper, where they were told not to snap pictures, some were putting on veil and stuff. I think from there, that's where we entered. And trust me, tears dropped from my eyes. So that evening, when we came back to our residence, I called her by WhatsApp. Then she told me that something has happened. It is not usual of her. And I asked her, what is it? She said, oh, she's feeling within herself that her immune system is boosting. She feels more confident. She can do a lot. She doesn't rely on the medications anymore. But then she was on a few medications, Daprim and sulfadiazine. These are very expensive medications that I was buying at that time. So for about 1 week, she couldn't buy the medication, but she was able to do a lot of work, which mostly she has to take that medication before she can work. But for 1 week, she couldn't take that medication and everything went unsuccessful. So I still believed in it. So we visited the catacomb too as well, and I prayed. The end of the story is that we have something in the Catholic Church that a lot of us, the youth, don't appreciate. It's because the leaders in the church are not portraying what our generation wants to see. It is more about them, it is not about us. So even when we have the wisdom from God, we think that it is not there. When we got to Austria, I was talking to Cosmos and then Marcosby, that when I come back, I want to have the biggest bakery in Ghana. Marcosby said it can be possible. I should do it. So all along the trip, my prayer was to make my fiancée get better, come back, come and marry her. I don't care what society will say about her sickness or anything. I will still marry her with it. Then I had a vision that when I come back, I should focus more on the cake element. And today, the last time Augustus and I had an interview, and I said it that 2016 has been a blessing for cake element in 2021.
Yeah, true.
Because if I have not paid attention to my Catholic faith, because in 2016 I sponsored myself, I paid my own trip to come. It was not even raising the money. I paid the church in this sponsor. I paid $3,000. I came back. I had times 3 of that money, and God has been very faithful. There was something I learned in Poland. The language taught me a lesson that we can never find happiness at our comfort zone. At times in your own comfort zone, you meet certain challenges, but you need to move to a zone where it is not user-friendly, where you have to learn something. The family I stayed with had only 2 rooms. Father Destiny and I were the host in that house. They gave out their bedroom, that is the couple, their bedroom, to us, and they were sleeping in the dining room. I never knew until the day we were about to leave to Wadowice. That was where I noticed that they were sleeping in the dining room. So early in the morning, they wake up very early to pack their beds. Then they lay the dining table for us to come and eat. They were even giving us money every blessed day when we have to go for our catechisms and going to tour the whole of Yavojno and stuff, you know. So when we were leaving, I quite remember I cooked and I invited a few of our colleagues to come to my host family for us to have fun. And I gave them a souvenir from Ghana. As we speak now, I still have contact with the son, which is Pietro. Pietro and I always speak every Friday. Tonight we'll be talking around 12 midnight, thereabouts. We talk every blessed day. And I'm planning visiting them too. They were poor, but they gave to us something that I myself, I thought they were rich. They didn't even let us see that this is the problem they had at home. I felt something today whenever I'm dealing with even my colleague Ghanaian friends, family members. I don't judge them because you can see people in suits. You don't know the problem they are going through. You see somebody wretched, you think that he's wretched, so he's not rich. Riches does not come in terms of money or it doesn't come in terms of kind of life you want to live and give to society. How you draw people closer to you. One of the beautiful things that I learned was when we traveled to go to the campus villa, or what they call it, where we met the Pope.
Campus Misericordia.
Campus Misericordia, thank you. The journey alone taught me a lesson. The walking, frustration. And one of the things I noticed is that if you are a leader and you are leading a group, one, you have to be a good listener. Two, you need to know your territories. Three, if you get frustrated, your followers also get frustrated. So I have this saying I tell my workers all the time is that forget about the captain's wife and mind the crew on board. Meaning that when there's a situation, don't look at the problem. Look at the solution that we can give so that we can move forward. 2016 has been a great success, and meeting you guys has also been a great success because we all come from different parishes. We have different ideas. We come from different backgrounds. We've learned from each other, and we have been able to keep contact to date. The group that we went to Brazil up to date, the only person I remember is Rita and Charles. And I think Louis. Finish. The rest of the people, I don't know. I don't know. And one of the beautiful things is that whenever you travel and you come back, it adds a certain value to your life. It opens your thinking abilities, how you should handle certain things, how you should do certain things. Because we think that we are university graduates, we are masters, PhD holders, whatever. But trust me, you can be the most educated person in Ghana. If you don't travel before, you be a fool. Because there are certain things that you have to learn that education cannot give you. Education can never give you. And I always capitalize on these things to travel, not because I have the means or not because it is easy to go on the ticket of the Catholic Church. But the question I keep asking myself is, in the next 15 years to come, where I will be in my 50s, which kind of legacy or is coming after us are looking up to us? And if we don't learn the things that other people are learning outside the church, moving from Accra, Kumasi, travel outside Ghana, acquire wisdom, go for pilgrimage, unique, it's so powerful. I got married to a woman who is a scholar in Islamic religion and inter-Christian denomination, my wife. And she's not a Catholic, but the way she understands the Catholic Church from head to toe, she doesn't joke with it. And majority of her colleague lecturers are Catholic priests. Father Mensa, Father Piakubi, Emeritus Bishop Kwesisa. These are her colleagues. So the people, the way of the tree, if you don't marry a Catholic, something will happen to you. When later she told her husband to be a Catholic, they were surprised. They were like, someone they offered to know. There's something unique about it. Yes, there's something unique about the church. And I think we don't rely on the parishioners to support. The church should also go out of its own circle. I always believe in that when the church is able to hold the bull by its own, trust you me, we can have about 10, 20, 50, 100 people going to World Do Day without putting pressure on the church members. It was nice meeting you guys today, and I miss Francisca though, my troublesome namesake. I miss her a lot. I don't know whether Charles is still on it. Charles is there.
You're
my fighting
partner. Yeah, of course.
My fighting partner. Yeah, my fighting. And you know, Charlie, he's a good guy. Just that when he's overexcited, he need my dear, he needs to know close. We should be praying for each other. Those who are married, those who have not married, we should pray that they also come into the sacrament of
Holy matrimony.
Holy matrimony, you know.
Bring it
But
to
you, if you're married, you think everybody wants to get married. There are some people who
Oh,
want
they
to
have to marry.
You
Is
want
that who is talking?
I am talking, Irene is talking. We want a sister.
Okay, so for me, my Poland experience, pardon me if I can't show my face because ECG have taken their light, so please, it's dark in here now.
Okay.
Yes. So for me, my Poland experience was super. I had the opportunity to live with one family, the Harris family, and they were very receptive. I was there with Father Mark. Father Mark was my roommate. This family, even though we found it very difficult communicating because they could not speak, not even one member of the family could speak English. So our first night, the conversation was via Google Translator. I type in English and translate, and they also type and then translate. So that was how we were communicating. We get to a point at dinner, we laugh at ourselves more, and then we continue. So basically, for my family, they were very receptive, they were very supportive. Wherever I went, they made sure they took me. So they drive me every morning to the parish, we have mass, then we leave for our rounds. When we are back, they come back and then pick me home. So that was good. In Poland, I think one of the beautiful things I think I experienced was our time, the last day, when we went for the feast they organized, where you had everybody coming out from his or her home to the grounds. They had a special concert just for us because we were leaving. And it was at that point that we really met people we only saw when we were just moving around. We had time to interact with others. We took so many pictures. So for me in Poland, I really learned from the family how to give. Okay. Initially, when we went, we heard stories about, say, they are kind of, excuse me, racist. They don't like black people, a whole lot of things. But when we got there, it looked different. It was different from what some of the things we were hearing. They really received us very well. They didn't consider, I realized that they were not even considering the color. Well, I think we were the only blacks there. There were Americans there. I think, was it Japanese? Yes, I think the Japanese were also there.
The Latinos
but
as
it
well.
looked like Latinos were also there. But it looks like the Ghanaians, the blacks, we took the whole town. So Yavojuno was just Ghana. Then my experience in Badoviste to the same. I went to live with a family. And I think that they went to Blonia. Yes. On our way back, I got missing. I tell you, that day is a day was a day that I don't think I'll ever forget in my life. Because from going to Blonia, the group left us. And then I went there alone with my two parishioners. We went to finish with everything we wanted to do. But even the going alone helped us. At least we were closer to the stage where in the hour where the Pope. So we had a better scene. Seeing the Pope, we saw him clearer than those who were really in our section. Now we're returning we got lost again. And I ended finding myself in a wrong, train station. The people I met at the train station could not speak English. I also could not speak the Polish language. So we had to find a way to get me back home. I had help from the team with the location. Unfortunately for me, when I stepped out of the train station, I lost my network. So there was no way I could find the team anymore. I had to discuss with some of the people there. They decided we go somewhere. I had a taxi. They got me a taxi. And unfortunately, I had to pay for the taxi. I had only 155 zlotys in my pocket because we didn't intend buying anything because we'll just go for mass, opening ceremony and come back. So I had only 155 zloty. In the taxi, I was looking at I don't know the name, the odometer with the charge. I don't know how it is called though, because per kilometer, the car will tell you how much you are going to pay. And I was sitting at the back of the car and I was looking at the thing read. I don't know how many kilometers we had gone The 155 I had on me was exhausted, and the driver was still moving. So I was thinking of how to get money to pay this driver. I'm a stranger. I don't know where I was even going. So fortunately, he took me to another camp, the WYD camp, where we had the Aboriginal group. So that's where he took me. So I went to meet the Aboriginal group there because we had already visited them. So I found two friends. They were not my friend. I never saw them in the Aboriginal though. But when they heard my story, I got lost. Two guys, Piotr and then Adrian, they decided to drive me all the way from where they were to Wadowice. Wow. And it was a 1 hour drive. That was around midnight, almost midnight. They drove from that place, and then we came straight back to my house in Wadowice. And then I showed them my friends from Ghana. We came out, and then they asked that we pray. We prayed, and then they set off. I think when they were leaving, it was around 12:20. They left at 12:20 Wadowice and drove back again 1 hour to their place. And I had to stay awake. When they got there, they called me and told me that, they had reached safely. And you see, that was where we started the friendship. And to date, as I speak, Adrian and Piotr, we are in touch. Almost now and every now and then we get in touch to find out how everybody is doing. We talk about everything. We talk about work. We talk about family, about so many things. There's nothing like hidden secrets. If there's anything, we talk about. And these are some of the things that I really experienced in Poland. One thing I think we should learn to do is we should learn to read signs. You remember when we were going for the final day, Campus Misericordia, we got lost, the second lost. And what we realized later was that on our journey, everything we needed to help us locate where we were going was available. The signs to tell us those going to section A, use this route, those going to section B, pass here. Honestly, we were not looking at those things. We were so much into the walking that we had gone past where we even had to make our first and second turns. And then we came back. You see? So I think what we didn't learn to do well was taking notice of instructions. So we should learn to read the signs that will help us find our routes. If not, we are going to get lost again. I think the last thing I'll say here is about prayer. It was on this journey that I learned how simple prayers are answered by God. After we got lost and we found our way back, we entered, was it a shuttle, one of the shuttles we got into. There was this girl who was wearing this nice cross on her neck, sorry. And you see, I wanted to make a request. I wanted to exchange the crucifix with a present, but I didn't know how to do it. So I just prayed in my heart, oh God, I want one of these. And you know, when we got lost, a small girl, a little girl, about say 4 years or 5 years, came from nowhere in the group. She just came in and then just came to tap me. Hello, hello, hello. And then handed me the crucifix I had prayed for. That was within, let's say, a space of, say, 30 minutes. The little girl came from nowhere and tapped me. Hello, hello, hello. Here, take this one. I don't even remember the country the little girl came from. I didn't ask of her name. I didn't speak to her mom. All I did was I also gave her a gift. And that also, we just lost touch like that. So to date, having seen that, I think when we came back, I wrote a piece on that one. The little girl who answered my prayer. And whenever I pick that piece and I read, it reminds me that no matter how much I think I'm down, prayer will lift me up. And that is my testimony, one of the testimonies I'll have to give to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your testimony with us and your days in Poland. Okay, Charles Makodoy.
Rome, yeah, so we got to Rome. It was fun. It was revealing. I mean, things that we had read.
If you can mix that with, if you have any testimony, okay, to share, if you can mix it, the testimony with your Rome experience, it will be nice.
Let me keep my testimony to myself.
No, because that's the purpose for this video. So you have to share. People want to know. People want to know. So you have to share.
Testimony. Oh, I mean, not really, but I mean, What was the testimony? Well, not one I can put a finger to.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure because I mean, I was in the heat of ensuring that everything goes well.
Of course.
Yeah. There's little testimony. Maybe if it comes to mind, I would yes, but
okay.
Maybe the testimony was the 500 euro pizza.
Hey, that pizza, the time with the ambassador.
Charles, you shouldn't have brought this up here. Hey, that's 500 euro. That's 500.
You started using big English on me like with donors intention. People are finished enjoying your
Okay, Charles, let's go.
Anyway, so I think the room one, I think we're going at a time of the year of mercy and going through all the 4 doors. It's something that was very revealing, or something that was very spiritual, something that really had that spiritual impact. And we're fortunate to be among the few, let me say, Catholics from Ghana who actually experienced the year of mercy in Rome, going through all the 4 doors. In Poland, because I had experienced how the family system was like in Brazil, so it wasn't new to me. But my family, I think I had was a lovely family. I was there with Kofi. They actually took very good care of us. I remember when we got there, and I think both of us said we don't eat pork. So they packed all their pork food away, and then that night they went to shop at the supermarket with chicken stuff and beef stuff. We're like, wow. And they took very good care of us. I was extremely impressed. I think after the World Youth Day, I've been there once. I've been with the family once again. And they were a blessing to us. It's a single mother with 3 kids. And again, she speaks, we didn't struggle so much with language because, she speaks English. I think she actually even teaches English. So there was actually little struggle in terms of communication. And all the kids also speak English. Okay, not all, but the last one is also being taught the English language. Yeah, so the family system was beautiful. I think we finished on our way to the main event. Okay, so our bus, other bus that started getting bent. Yeah, it should tell us that we packed so many things, and you people really shocked. So look at how a trailer that was, the car was pulling the trailer and the car got bent. It should tell you the weight of the things you people were shopping. I remember I was asking you people to reduce the shopping, and you people would not listen. I think so. Fast forward, we got to Krakow. We went through the program. I think the Saturday was Charlie. I'm sure that God actually wanted us to experience what I think they call the mercy walk, because we actually walked. And
yeah, we did.
Yeah, I'm sure that it took away all sicknesses from our body if you were sick, because that walk. Yes. So basically, it was a beautiful trip. It was a lovely trip. It's a trip I would always recommend for anybody. Don't worry so much about the money. I know the organizers of the Lisbon trip has come out with the cost. Yeah, it looks expensive, but you can always start saving. I was very happy other people were able to share how they were able to raise the funds. I mean, once you set your eyes on going and you attach planning to it, and also add prayers to it, I think there should be a way around it for you to go. I mean, it's a beautiful experience, and I know most of you have enjoyed it. And try and then be on board for Lisbon. But Lisbon would also be so beautiful. I think there's a repeat of Rome. Maybe Angela will share with us what they have planned for us. So now it's Angela organizing for the Arts now. So I think she can share with us what has actually.
But Augustus is part of the committee, and he's
Okay.
the one hosting us.
Oh, okay.
So from my experience of the World Youth Day, right? I remember in 2000, like for the 2005 World Youth Day, right, in Cologne, my parish sponsored about 3 young people. And then I remember being so amazed that they were so active in church that like the church was actually sponsoring them. Like I couldn't believe that something like that was happening. And then fast forward, I heard about the World Youth Day in Poland. It wasn't any serious prayer. I was just like, oh God, I want to go. That was it. And then somehow like things just worked so beautifully because I thought there were maybe other like I was a co-opted executive. That's the priest nominee. And then there were other youth that I thought were more active. And then somehow, like I had the opportunity to go. So that already for me, like everything was just so amazing. Like there were times that I wasn't too sure that it was all actually happening. And I had always loved the Divine Mercy. So I've always loved Divine Mercy. So actually being to Rome in the Year of Mercy, and then going to Poland, the country of Pope John Paul II, and then Saint Faustina, like all together were just like was all together just too amazing. And like I like to keep travel diaries. So let's say every time I travel, if only there is an opportunity in terms of writing down my experiences. So I think for Poland like this, I wasn't able to finish it, right? But altogether, I was really happy that I was able to do that. And then like going in a group and all, it was just honestly one of the most wonderful experiences ever for me. And the way that God opened the door for me to even go for the World Youth Day in Panama afterwards, that was also just so amazing, because I remember initially it was like you're just talking about it, and the next thing I knew, like, okay, there's actually an opportunity, fundraising, like you did it and then actually went, and then family support, because it didn't look like that was going to be possible, because it was like, you've already gone for one, so why do you want to go for another? And that was already also so amazing. And interestingly, the day of the very, very long walk that you guys were talking about, I think that day I had like a stomach upset, I had menstrual cramps. Like I almost didn't go for the thing itself, but I just told myself that, Master, your parents didn't send you here to miss the final event. So we were behind. I was with Sophie and then Lady, and I think me or so. So we went there when all of that drama happened. All the time, by the time we got there, all we saw was that people were getting on a bus. So we also joined. We got onto a bus, and then we got up to a place, and by then everything stopped. So I think we were like the first group. And then as we were going, like there were people kept coming out, just cheering us on, telling us like, you can do it. We even got to a place. I think the people had like a museum. They gave us food and other things, and it was just so amazing. I think for me, it was a reminder about that feeding the stranger. or like being hospitable to strangers. Yes. So we're like the very first group of people to get there. And we actually secured the place. We settled down in our sleeping bags, waiting for the rest to come. So it was honestly, yes, altogether very, very wonderful. And then the families, like both families from Jaworzno and then in Radowice too, were truly amazing. I think our first family in Jaworzno like this, the couple
So
didn't speak
Angela, you
English.
didn't get lost, eh?
Not as lost as you guys did. No.
And then I think you didn't really experience it well. I tell you.
No, remember I had already had a struggle because it was like, Charlie, this kind of pain, because Sophie literally had to stay with us. That should tell you how serious it was. So it was
I
either you are
understand.
staying in the room for the whole weekend, or you are trying to go anyway. So I was glad we went.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thanks so much.
And Angela, how is he?
He's doing well.
Oh, okay.
Doing well.
My greetings to me. Okay, Gloria.
Okay.
I'm very, very glad I participated in the World Youth Day 2016. I have been blessed tremendously by this journey that I took, and I don't regret at all making this journey. Even though there were times that, sometimes you wanted to give up because of the long walks and all. It was part of the package, so we are cool. Well, I have a testimony to share. I had this condition, claustrophobia, and it got very worse when we got to Rome, especially when we entered the catacombs. So after that experience, I remember every chapel we entered, I would leave a prayer request, I would pray, asking God to heal me. So that was what was going on then. Like every time I made a prayer and we go into maybe any of the trams or the cars that we had to travel with, then the condition will reappear again. That didn't deter me. I kept on asking God to take that condition away. So fast forward, we got to Ghana and everything went back to normal. We're going about our daily activities. So one day, my brother and I were going out. Usually, I don't sit at the back of a car. Yes, because if I do, the condition worsens. So after we got to our destination, my brother was like, did you actually sit at the back of the car without any screaming or the condition coming? This is amazing. Then it dawned on me. So I realized that I was screaming that, yeah, I've been healed. Then he was like, what is going on? Then I told him my experiences in Rome, the prayers I led. They knew about the experiences because I was communicating with them back home in Ghana. So I told him that this is what I did. Any chapel we entered, I would pray, I would leave a prayer request. He was like, wow, this is wonderful. And I had other requests too. They have been granted, and I'm thankful to God. And like I said, I am glad I participated in this World Youth Day. It has blessed me, it has blessed my family and everybody around me. So it is my prayer that many more people get to participate and experience God in an amazing way.
Yes, I have a testimony. When we were embarking on the journey, I got a piece of paper and I wrote my prayer request on it. I can say 2 has been answered, and I know that all the others will be answered. I prayed about marriage, and when I came back I went back to school. So far, that's my testimony.
Okay. So
every prayer has been answered. Yes.
Do you want to share with us anything in Poland or Rome?
Oh, I think Rome, I love the beautiful sights I saw. The bodies in the casket that weren't corrupted. They said it's incorruptible. Yes, the last time I was teaching my children creative arts and it came up and they were like, really? I said, yes. Now the new creative arts, there is the assistant chapel and other things in there. So I was able to share that experience with them. So I think I love the beautiful sights I saw at Rome. And in Poland, the people were such a beautiful family. They didn't discriminate. They treated us nicely. And so I think although some strangers are not nice, when we get strangers, we should study them and relate well with them. That's a little I would like to share. Thank you.
Thank you. And my experience too, in fact, I can't forget. I was lucky to live with the Atta family in Devotional. We are still in touch anyway. We are still in touch, and that family is such a wonderful family. And I remember the way, the love, because I and Francis don't go from St. Raphael the Archangel. St. Raphael the Archangel, retreats, Lashibi, when the same, we lived with them. And they had planned on going for summer. And they changed their mind last minute. So it was in Dubai that we had contact with them. So when we went to Jaboshno and they took us home, they told us that, but it was the last day we were leaving Jaboshno. And then they told us that they had planned of going out of Poland summer. But the Sunday before we arrived, they changed their mind. So they went to the priest to ask if there's anything they could do, if there's any pilgrim they could accept, they could offer shelter. And the priest said, yes, it's true. It's like with two people from Ghana that they need a family to live with. And we were the last two. So surprisingly, they took us, it was a miracle, and the kind of love and care these people showed us is awesome. And they've been a father, they've been a mother to me. They call me, checking up on me. Even though we are far apart, even though I'm in Europe, we still talk, and they've been asking me, come and visit me, come with your family, we want to see your family. And it's so lovely, they are so nice. I remember the tomatoes and then the bread we have to eat every day in the morning whenever we are going out. It's not from our family, but when you go out there, there's always bread and tomatoes for you. And I was asking myself, which country is this that they like eating bread and tomatoes like that? And it wasn't only me. A lot of people, a lot of the pilgrims will complain, we need tomatoes. And it was part of their culture, and we had to learn it, and it's good. And I enjoyed it. And even when we went to Vadovice, the family I live with, the Bozen family, oh my God, another wonderful family. I really enjoyed that place. I remember their grandson, Sam. Oh my God, Samson. He lived in the US a bit, so with a mother. He could speak English, so I could. When I speak English, then he would interpret it to the grandparents, and that was it. The man had a farm, and they were so lovely. But one thing that my testimony was, we went to one monastery, and there we said the Divine Mercy prayer. The monastery was on top of a hill. That day when I said the Divine Mercy prayer, I just said something to God. I was to have my attachment in Europe right after the Poland in 2016. So I told God, oh God, how am I going to go for this intention in Europe? How to even buy my plane ticket was a problem. So I was thinking about, so during the Divine Mercy prayer, I just said it. And that wasn't the only prayer which I said, which was answered, a lot of them. 2 days we went back to Ghana. To my surprise, 2 days later, I had a call. And the person asked, have you bought your tickets? I said, no. He said, go and check and let me know the fee. I told the person that very day in the evening, he sent me the money to buy my plane ticket. So in 2016, I had to come back to Europe for my intention for 3 months. And I'm not the only person who have testimony. A lot of you have shared your testimony with us today. And come 2023, what you there is happening again in Lisbon, Portugal. I know a lot of you are watching. You saw our videos on YouTube. We're dancing Jama, in fact, gospel Jama. We had masses. We visited the catacombs, we visited the basilicas, we walked on ancient road, the Appian Way in Rome. We saw a lot of things. But in all this, people have gotten married, people have got scholarship, people have gotten opportunity to travel outside the country to better their lives. People have gotten so many countless blessings, which we can't even count. I'm talking to you watching me today. You may have the money. Do not look at the, how should I even put it? Like, oh, it's 5,000 or so. It's too much. Too much, 5,000 or 5,000, which you may say is too much, cannot be compared to the blessings that are awaiting you. If you can afford, please try and go. It is going to help you. If you can afford to help someone, please support the person, because I know those who sponsored me, they've gotten their blessings, they've gotten their prayers answered. Because I carried some of them, their petitions with me. And I think there was a time we were having a bonfire or whatever. I had to bend those intentions. Their prayers have been answered. So if you can support someone to go, you will share in that person's blessing. God would bless you. So Lisbon is just a year or two away, 2023. Get in touch with your PYC chairperson or any of the PYC leaders and show interest. If you want to go, you don't know how to save, you don't know how to, if you want to sponsor yourself, you don't know how to do it, get in touch with your PYC chairperson. They would get in touch with the Archdiocesan Organizing Committee. There is a plan for how they are going to help you save money. As Francisca said, we were speaking to Charles, and Charles was guiding him how to save money for what do you think? There are a lot of blessings in there, and I don't want you to miss it. Let us all join our hands and go for Portugal 2023. Thank you all for joining me this evening or this afternoon, wherever you are watching me, for this morning, wherever you are watching me from. The program has been conversation, and we've been talking about our 5 years experience or remembering Rome, Poland 2016. And I hope all of you would share this video with your friends, and let's solve Lisbon 2023. The package is huge. Do not look at the money, but look at the blessings that is awaiting you. Thank you, all of you, those who were able to join me this evening. Angela, Pius, Felicia, Francisca, Gloria, Irene. Oh, my missing chicken, more chicken, more chicken. Charles Francis, Apenu. Richmond joined and the line went off. Richmond, thank you for joining. Thank you all for sharing your experience with us. God will bless you. Adios.
Sometimes statement may not be clear, but there is always a deeper understanding. It is not just about the who said what. The whens, hows, and wheres are equally important. Join me on a whole new journey in the conversation with Augustus as I bring you discussions from religion to politics, health to economy, humanity to social activities, among many others. Conversation with Augustus knows no foreign borders. The show comes to you every Wednesday at 6:15 p.m. GMT on our YouTube channel Conversation with Augustus and on Radio Angelus, www.radioangelus.com. This program was sponsored by Safe Life Experience Consult Limited. Contact them for all your travel and tour needs, as well as your events.